Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and if I have a kryptonite when it comes to whiskey, it's not in the bottle, it's in a man. And on tonight's podcast, Pat Byrne joins us from BUA and my kryptonite, Martin Kennedy. Tonight on Whiskey Business. I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey, as we are recording on Fat Tuesday, or as my friend Martin would say, Shrove Tuesday.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras? Where you been? You been someplace already?
No, my sister sent me that.
That's nice. It's adorable. It's really, well, you're festive. I'll give you that.
And grass is legal now.
And,
I showed my boobs to somebody.
Mardi Gras is legal. Our guests tonight, I'm so glad to have them back because they've gone forth and multiplied apparently since the last time we were here. BUA Irish whiskey is what we'll be drinking tonight, and Pat Burns from Byrne's Pub,
Right.
and Martin Kennedy. I'll get to you in a second, my friend. Are joining us once again to talk about BUA, where it was and where it is and where it's going. I'm so excited to have you guys back, and on a Fat Tuesday. Shrove Tuesday. Why is it called Shrove Tuesday?
Oh, I don't even know. It's the Irish in me. It's the Irish Catholic guilt in me. I have to call my calendar. In fact, is what told me it was Shrove Tuesday.
But why,
Isn't it the Tuesday before?
What's a Shrove?
It's somebody who talks about Tuesdays like Shroves. I think Shrove Tuesday is that the day before Lent where
Yeah,
Lent
it is. It's
tomorrow.
tomorrow's
Ash
Ash
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
When we put all the ashes on our foreheads.
Right.
But Shrove Tuesday, Pancake Tuesday is what we call it in Ireland. Really.
Pancake Tuesday?
Pancake Tuesday is
pancakes?
the day before Lent where everybody has pancakes, but you put into the pancakes is all the stuff that you're not going to be eating during Lent.
Right, you're supposed to give something up.
Yeah.
Confession. So it's like you're supposed to confess.
Shrove.
Get
Shrove
penance
Tuesday.
today,
Oh,
and
that's
then
right. Yeah.
start a clean slate tomorrow.
Then you do 40 days and 40 nights of
Yeah.
penance.
You're supposed to give something. I'm giving up candy because I knew I love candy. I eat candy all the time, so I've been stuffing candy down my throat all day long today. So, and that's going to be hard for me. Candy's harder for me to give up than whiskey.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yes way.
Yeah.
It is. It's harder. I can go a couple days without a nip.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go.
How do you
hard.
do
I
that?
don't really have a
Couple
sweet
days.
tooth.
Yeah.
I don't really have a sweet tooth. That's kind of an easier thing for me to do. Is, give up something like chocolate
The
or
idea is to
cake.
give something up you really like and love.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of like and love, we got business to do, don't we?
look at that. There's a little bit of a segue. All right, get the business.
That was real smooth.
Yeah, John Whitney. Wow, he's on top of
Trying to
his.
keep us honest.
That's
You
it.
know?
Oh, you know what?
You're just gonna steamroll right
As soon as
over
we
it.
start pouring, you know what? While you're doing the business, Hansberry, we'll start pouring
got
whiskeys.
it.
Which one are we going to start with, Pat?
I think, well, if we want to revisit the original,
Oh, yeah.
We should.
that's a
That's
good
what I
one.
was
All
going
right,
to suggest.
revisit
but
the OG.
This is your show.
Right, and because from there we just get into cask strength stuff,
Okay,
and
yeah,
so
that's-
you.
Let's
That's
do
balls
one.
out.
Let's
All right.
do
Here's
one with
the
the
business.
training wheels first.
Whiskey Business is the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with BUA whiskey tonight. Thanks for subscribing on your favorite podcasting app. Rate, review, and share. And if you're on Apple iTunes, go ahead, go down there where you can rate and put a little comment about us. And we might even read your comments. We haven't done that for a while, but if you put something silly, maybe we'll
Other
read
comments?
it.
I would read them if there were.
Yeah, we used to do it, and then we
It's a
slept.
lot of things we
Yeah.
used to do.
I forgot me.
Don't forget you. Don't forget you.
YouTube.
I'm just afraid I don't want to listen to Martin's confession. That's all.
I actually would like to listen to Martin's confession.
You've married people before. Can you take confession too?
You know what? I'm gonna have to look at. What they say. I am a man of the internet cloth. So I wonder if I could take confessions. Yeah.
we can take them. Not sure they're going to do anything.
I would like to listen to Martin's confession, but I also don't want to be up for the next 3 nights.
YouTube. We are on YouTube. John does a great job of an unedited video. So if you want some of this nonsense that's going on, unedited YouTube Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis, smash that subscribe button. and hit that little bell.
Ding, ding, ding,
You'll get
ding,
notifications every time we have a new video. And I think even if you get notifications, even when you do one of the shorts, the
Yes.
little YouTube
Yep.
shorts. Evergreenpodcast.com, our parent company. Thank you. And that's it.
John Whitney, you were right to get that business out of the way early.
Well, I
Well
saw
done, sir.
I saw the train was starting to leave the
Yeah,
station. I had to
no.
stop.
You're
Work to
you're
do,
a
business to
genius
pay.
move.
You're early.
A genius move. Tonight's podcast is going to be all about BUA, things that are coming that we had to keep a lid on because Ohio Liquor Control wanted us to do just that. Martin was actually scheduled to be on the podcast a couple weeks ago, but he admittedly said he wouldn't be able to.
I won't be able to keep stum.
Boring.
Wouldn't
No,
be able to keep
you're
it
not
under
gonna
his
be
lid,
no.
so we waited till it was actually legitimate. But yes, Pat, if you will, and Martin, tell us about the original one, the one that got started, what we're having.
Well, originally BUA is BUA is the Irish word for a win or a victory, and so it was conceived right here in Columbus, right here in Central Ohio. Martin, I own a bar here in town.
No, you
It's
don't
true.
say.
It's true. Byrne's Pub. Yeah,
Are you guys open on St. Patrick's Day?
I think so.
we hope to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's early. But Martin and I got together there. We'd hang out at Byrne's Pub, and then Martin ended his contract with the other whiskey that he was with, and he was going back to Ireland, and we had this conversation that said, why can't we have our own? So Martin went back to Ireland and got the ball rolling, and so now we have this BUA Irish whiskey that the original landed here in early, actually 4 years ago today, according to my Google timeline.
Wow.
So it's-
An
I actually saw
anniversary
that.
to boot.
Right.
I just saw that today. Yeah.
Serendipity.
Yeah, so-
We should drink.
Serendipity.
So this one is-
Cheers. Happy anniversary, my friend. Congratulations, Chip. A clink. Gotta make a clink.
Clink.
Don't want to fuck up the
Right.
BUA.
It's bad luck if you don't clink.
and it's still delicious.
Still delicious.
It's a lot sweeter than I remember.
I was going to say the same thing. Sweet up front.
Still delicious.
More smoky than I remember, too.
It's
Now, I should tell you that in preparation for tonight's podcast, the amount of work and research that goes into each and every episode of Whiskey Business, I have 2 words for tonight's prep. Hang on. And that's all. That's it for the prep. Boom. Done.
Hold tight.
So,
You didn't say strap in, boys. I think when you
strap
when you
in,
booked them.
hang on, buckle up, whatever the case might be.
Dino, I started pre-hydrating
Hang on,
for this
Dino.
3 weeks ago, so you're already late to the prep.
I'm always late to the party, especially with you. Let me just before we dig into the eccentricities of all these lovely Irish whiskeys in front of us. I'm glad that this relationship has continued to work out, because if I would spend as much time as you spend with Martin, there'd be no Whiskey Business podcast. There'd be a wake.
right.
There'd be a wake. There's been like 2 situations in my life where like I think I've been what I call bested as far as drinking. One time was coming home from Copenhagen, and there was this is back when there were still smoking sections on airplanes, and you could bring whatever you wanted on your carry-on. And I was in the back of the plane with a man from Russia who had in his duffel bag 2 bottles of homemade vodka.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Oh.
and we sat in the back of that plane from Copenhagen back to New York City and drank his vodka, and I, left that plane sideways. The very first time Martin, when he was working for another company and joined us on Whiskey Business back when we just used to do the audio version back at the radio station.
That's right.
We wrapped up things nicely. We tried the whiskey that you were endorsing at that particular time.
Yeah.
It was a lovely podcast. It was informative. It was enjoyable. He's quite the character. That's obvious, right? Quite the
No doubt.
personality. And then he said, "It's early. How about we go out
Right.
for another?"
Early being like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was
you
like
know?
it's early. How about we go for another? I don't know what you called it, a nip. Another. It seemed social and harmless at the time. 2:30 in the morning, and I'm back at work at 5 a.m. at that particular time. It's 2:30 in the morning, and we're wrapping it up at O'Reilly's.
That's right.
Yeah.
Glad you remember
Thinking
that.
we're going to go our separate ways. And he says, just one more nightcap. And we come back here at now 3 o'clock in the morning, stay here till 4 o'clock in the morning. He gets an Uber
something
or
over here.
whatever was available at the time, a cab, or whatever the case might be, and off he goes safely. And I'm left to my own, half in the bag devices, going like, I've got to be at Sunny 95 in 42 minutes.
Right.
And you know what? I went home and I listened to you the next
And I stepped up.
You did. Fucking champion.
Yes, yeah, damn it,
Champion.
But,
He's not lying. There's a handful of stories I've heard a bunch of times, working with him, and that's one of them. That one keeps coming up, man.
Oh, Lord.
but yeah, that was like, okay, I could not. I mean, I did, but it's nothing. When he left, I didn't say like, let's do it again soon.
But Dino, you'll be happy. I've worked on him. He's much calmer now.
Is he?
Barely ever drinks.
So everything obviously.
It was that other brand.
It was that other brand.
That
That's what
made
it
him go
did.
crazy.
That made him so nuts.
More distinguished character now.
This one's got a sedative of some sort. No, this is actually your John Whitney. A great recall. This does seem a little sweeter, or I don't know if it's the
This
case
would be. I think we probably did batch one
Yeah.
when we did it, and batch one
that's
was
what I know about. I think it was batch
vastly different. It was maybe not vastly different, but it was different from batch two because batch one, our very first whiskey, it was kind of matured during the winter months.
Mm-hmm.
Batch two was matured during the summer months.
Same mash bill,
And
though?
same match bill,
Same mash
mash bill, and really got a lot. It got more action from the barrels, and it kind of it's a different tasting whiskey. It's a,
Yeah.
I mean, you put the two of them in front of me, and I can tell immediately which batch.
That's
it is,
crazy.
so.
And I have to assume, and I never like to assume, but in this case I will, that the initial launch of BUA was successful enough in order to see four more different bottles in front of me. That's time. That's an investment of both love and money. Let's be honest. But to have four different whiskeys now to try here in front of us, congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. We use the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race, and it's the same way it works with the money.
There you go.
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady.
Well, we're hoping that the tortoise shows up with a sack of money at some point. But
Eventually. So, how does that relationship work when it comes to making the whiskey? How much input do both of you have in respects, or is there someone else that's behind the scenes that I'm not aware of when it comes to the mash bill and whatnot? Did you both have a say in that?
I have to defer to Martin because he's primarily in charge of all that.
All right, because he's the one that's going back and forth to Ireland,
Right.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I just got back over here recently from Ireland, which is these is what I've been working on. Is getting these on a boat, and then getting these into a warehouse, and then getting these into the next warehouse, and into the next warehouse, and that's primarily is what's been the stress for the last while. These we actually started working on these, the batch one, or the core release that you have in front of you aside, but we started working on these like four years ago now. Is when
The
we
single barrels.
yeah,
Or
all these single
mash.
barrels.
So these
Single
are
malts.
distilled in Ireland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the one we're trying next, or did you want us to try one of the
I
other
think we
ones
should
next?
try one of these. Sorry, when I say these, I mean all of these. So
Yeah.
all of
Mhm.
these.
All of these.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
pointing to the four.
I got a single
Single
grain,
malts.
a single malt.
I think the one we should try next is probably the single grain.
The single grain. You want to
Yeah.
open that officially? It's just I feel like you should do the honors.
Oh no, here we go. I got started.
And
Aha.
normally we would rinse out our glasses if we were in an actual official tasting.
I'm
but
doing
I think if you could just
We're rinsing it out with the next whiskey.
yeah.
We got 61% alcohol whiskey here, though.
This is what now?
Whoa.
61%.
61%.
So the rest of these are cast strength.
Mind your sandwiches, gentlemen.
All right.
Here's that chip.
The dad in me will tell you to go easy on Hansberry.
Yeah, give me just a touch.
Just the Hansberry.
I'll come
As
back
I've-
with the one I like the best.
As I've said
Absolutely.
before on Whiskey Business, it's 120 proof whiskey going into a 40 proof body. So let's go easy. He's got to produce a morning show in the morning.
So all
All
the
right, so-
glasses that we were pouring out of today were like little quarter ounce glasses.
three
That
quarter
that
ounce.
bottle is a lot more empty after one little pour than I expected it to be.
Let's talk about that
So
for a second.
strap in, gents.
I was actually invited to that this afternoon, and I have to apologize to I think Becca when I talked to her. I was supposed to be at that tasting today, and had a couple things get in the way. So what was that?
All the other
about?
podcasts were there.
They were they? I bet you they were. I bet you there were other whiskey
There's
podcasts.
a few of them, all right.
Yeah, I have no
There
doubt.
was.
No doubt.
Yeah, all
I
the
drank-
youths. Youths.
Yeah, all the youths. So how was that? Was it good?
It was good, yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We had
Yeah.
a great time. Is we did Cleveland yesterday and Columbus today, and so it's basically 4 or 5 hours of talking, and it often tell the same story over and over and over again. And but it's fun.
I won't make
It's
you
good
tell
to
it
see
again.
it. Right, we got to see it. We got to see a lot of people, and the response was really, really good.
So you got to introduce people that were tasting and seeing BUA for the first time.
It's correct. They were BUA had a big 2-day stand here. So actually in Cleveland, I don't know we talked about it, but there's 22 brands, 22 tables out there, 22 vendors, and it was bar owners pre-ordering for their bars. So that
Gotcha.
the product showed up at their liquor store, so they had pre-order for it. And who was the number one seller there, Martin? Apparently, it was BUA.
All right.
So
Nice.
we're very happy with that. So it's
So it was a good day.
it was a
It was
good
good.
day.
It was a
Strong day.
It was a good day. So
It was a strong day of.
the tortoise had a few bucks
And,
strapped
and,
on his
and they
show.
might have been lying to us. I don't know. They might have told every other vendor too. We don't know that yet.
And
We
then
haven't
we're
seen any
invited to
numbers.
something else on, I believe, March the 3rd. March the 3rd. There's
It's going to be another
That's right.
retail.
another
one.
big shindig at Chateau.
Chateau, the liquor store.
Yeah. And that's big too, right? That's a big deal.
So
Yeah, that's a
Friday, which is good for me.
retail focus event. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, you'll be here still for that one?
We're all going to be at that one.
Yeah.
That one we've got. I think it's a Sunday.
Yeah,
Nothing says Sunday like
I'm gonna
going
do
to a liquor store.
I'm gonna do Saturday night mass first.
right.
All right, so this one, Martin, what we're drinking. This is the
This one-
This is the.
what we're drinking here is a single grain. So this one is
Wow, I got it. That has an interesting nose right out
yeah,
of the gate.
yeah. So this is a single grain. It's so our question today, Jesus. I mean, the questions. It always kind of started today, and okay. So like, what are you looking for? Like a big punchy bourbon, or are you looking for like a more nuanced single malt? And Lot came back with a big punchy bourbon, and this is most like a big punchy bourbon. It's got it's mostly made with corn in the mash bill. But it's also matured across 2 different barrel types. So it's matured across
Wow.
freshly charred barrels,
Okay.
bringing those toffee caramel notes that you expect. But then into the mix with that is an Imperial Irish Stout cask. And that has brought lots of like dark, roasty chocolate notes.
And that's what's coming to me at the end on the finish.
Yeah.
Is all those notes that you just described.
Yeah.
That's what because when I'm on the nose, I pick up a little bit of it, but once maybe try it. Yeah.
No.
It's so waxy and oily on the palate too, I feel from it.
But then all that stuff comes rushing in on
Yeah.
the finish.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're crowding each
Yeah,
other.
they're
pick me. Pick
They're
me.
all saying hell yeah.
Yeah.
They're
It's not like any Irish whiskey I've ever had.
That's for sure. Very nice. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah,
It is really
and
good.
it's like all our core. It's like our core release. Exactly everything that we're proud of. It's it's triple distilled, non-chill filtered, no added coloring. So all that natural, deep coloring there in it. It's exactly as the barrels intended it. What we wanted to stick with all of our releases.
It's gonna
for
be.
this, okay.
Am I supposed to have a favorite before it's all said and done at the end of the night?
You can take it and you're allowed to change it. We're do you know what? I'm not even going to say
You know,
which one I'm expecting your favorite to come.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say that.
Don't.
Yeah.
Let's see if we.
Yeah.
Let's see if we have the meeting of the
Yeah.
of the minds.
But this was an underdog favorite that I wasn't.
doubt
this
it.
was up there with that was an underdog.
That was the top seller in Cleveland.
It was.
Yeah.
It was the top seller in Cleveland, and surprised us too.
I'm from
So-
Cleveland. I could see that totally.
Why do you think that, Chip? Why would this be a big seller in Cleveland?
Because of the alcohol content.
He's not wrong.
That's as about as honest an answer as I would expect. Yeah. So
I've got a question. I'm sorry.
go ahead, Chip.
Why was this on the wraps? I don't understand why you couldn't talk about these in the past. What was really going on?
No,
Maybe
good
I missed
question.
something. I'm
It's
so
an
sorry.
OHLQ thing, but you'll explain it.
Yeah, OHLQ have actually committed and they've gone full in with us, with BUA, with these as their exclusives. So these have never been released before, never will be released again. These are OHLQ exclusives. So they've gone full in and claimed that they want these to be considered theirs, which is we're super proud of
They
that.
have the OHLQ logo there on it.
Yeah. OHLQ exclusive barrel
So
picks on the
did-
front of each of them.
Did they really send somebody over and pick them, or you? Yeah. Did
Oh,
they?
yeah, they sent a delegation over there.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, who was on that trip?
Yeah.
Was
yeah,
Canepa
Maker's
still on
Mark.
that
Fuck
trip?
that.
Dublin.
On that trip before his last hurrah before becoming the pod czar?
Before he bounces.
Before Mardi Gras.
Before Mardi Gras?
Hey man, Mardi Gras.
Before I'll take the job, but first I'm gonna go to Ireland and do one last
And
thing.
I tell you, it wasn't nothing to do with Andemic either.
Yeah. Did she go?
She was there, yeah.
She was good. I got the
She blends
equivalent
right in.
of a heavy sigh from her via text. Because I texted her to see how you doing, what's going on, who's going to be taking Jim's place, so forth, and I got nothing back from her. And then she texted me back. I was literally saying I haven't heard back from her, and then I literally heard back from her, and she apologized, and then she goes, speaking of whiskey, I have a guest for you, and I go, and I just texted back. I go, I already talked to Martin. He's coming on the show, and it was like, of course you have. Yeah. She's trying to do her due diligence and said everything. I was like, we're way ahead of you. He's coming on the podcast in a couple of weeks.
Anne's been doing Trojan work around these events, yeah, and is still going to be doing Trojan work around these events. Yeah, no, Anne came over to Ireland, and yeah, she met with a load of different brands with the delegation.
They must have loved her over there.
She looks more Irish than me,
Fiery-
than
the
anybody.
fiery redhead.
She's the most Irish looking person in Ireland when she was there.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You got to teach her that accent.
I'm just looking for ammunition. How did Canepa fare in Ireland?
Canepa's a nice fella. You know,
I love
Canepa's- He's
Canepa.
an absolute gen, and I had nothing but
Did
great
he get
fun
in a
with
fight?
him.
Is
I
there
bet he
anything
got
I
in a
can call
fight.
him on?
Canepa had a favor here too, and I'd be interested to see if he could pick out Jim's
all right.
favorite.
Well, that was always his thing when he would come over. He would like to bring over mystery bottles, little mystery samples of things that were coming to Ohio.
Jim's eyes lit up. Jim's eyes lit up at one of these, and I'd be interested to see if you can pick which one Jim liked.
I'll be curious.
If it tells something about Jim.
That's an interesting way
a
to
sweetheart.
Interesting way.
At
Yeah,
heart.
no. We love Jim Canepa, and he's I'll get back to you next week, and he hasn't yet. In respects, we want him on the
Yeah, he's
podcast to
probably
talk
busy.
about Mardi Gras.
Well, and, I mean, and as a bar owner, Jim Canepa's been the best superintendent.
It's funny.
that we've
Those
had.
are big. Those are big shoes to fill.
You either hear he's the best we've ever had, or God damn him! Wow, I want. And the people, but they don't know what he's doing.
The goddamn hymns are from the people who didn't get their particular.
Exactly.
We don't get shit in Ohio.
I want
And,
Eagle Rare.
He's brought so much more
No, you're correct.
to the table in Ohio
Quit.
than anyone has
Right.
previously.
Well, if you like it so much, you should marry him.
Well, he's gonna be the pot czar, so all right.
just getting started with.
I guess my point is there's no
my
middle ground there.
relationship.
He's all or nothing guy. For
No,
sure.
he is. He's all in, and I know he likes a challenge. And Ohio liquor was a challenge for him, and he stepped up. And pot, marijuana in Ohio is going to be a challenge, and I know he's going to step up.
Yeah.
But he's got He's
Yeah,
going to be
there's-
knee deep in the weeds, so to speak, on that one. Before
Who's
it's
going to
all-
be whining and dining them now? I wonder.
I don't know. And who's
Hey,
going to
man.
fill those shoes? I feel bad for the person who has to fill those shoes as a superintendent, because they got a lot to live up to.
I'd
So
put
Your head in the ring, do you know? Put your
whoever-
head in the ring.
are
you got
kidding
time.
me?
You got time, right?
I talk about rising to a challenge. Oh my God.
That'd be your dream job, though, right?
I would. Oh my God! If that was even a possibility, see ya. I'd be in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
I'd be lucky if you took my calls.
Are
Mr.
you
Tripodis.
kidding me?
Mr. Tripodis.
I just want to be an advisor.
An advisor. If you're going to be the superintendent of Ohio Liquor, you're going to have to not do whiskey business. Okay, done. Done. These guys have a Star Trek podcast. They'll be fine.
When can we turn Sunday into just another day of the week?
Just another day of the week.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm making notes on your thing.
Start what now? What are you doing?
I was gonna say. So you called Andemic a start.
Oh, star.
A star.
star,
Oh,
star,
star.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Star,
She's a
yeah.
star. I was like, ooh, start.
She's
I'm gonna
a
start using star. That's
Start.
good.
I think maybe you should start using the start. Make it your own word.
You call our name
Yeah,
star.
yeah.
Oh, baby, she's a start.
She's, that woman. She's a
She
she's,
start.
She's a start. That
That's a
one.
good
Superstar.
Start.
I'm gonna take some notes.
Oh, Andemic is a star. And I
a
won't
great
have that. I
flaming
won't have
star.
anything else said about her.
Have you ever heard the phrase Jack and Danny?
I have not heard that phrase, Jack and Danny.
Jack and Danny. All right, I was listening to a podcast and they said it was slang for your junk, your cock, your wiener, your balls.
Irish
Jack and
slang?
Danny. Yeah.
Which is the Jack and which is the
I don't
Danny?
know. I don't know.
The smaller of the two, obviously.
Well, yeah, but which one is
in
which?
conversation? It came up because of The Shining. These are the characters in The Shining, and that's the only reason I remembered why. They're like, the Jack and Danny,
Danny's the little boy.
Yeah.
Jack and Danny.
Not Jack and Danny's plural, because then the
Danny's
could
would be the balls.
The balls, but then the Jack.
Well, apparently it's not a thing, so we can make it up as however we want to.
nice.
That would-
Danny's.
Uh,
Do you have a bottle of red rum?
there you go.
red rum.
All right, that's it. I'm done for the night.
Let me shift a little bit. Let
I'm
me shift. Me Jack and Danny's are
Got
a
it
little
done.
bit
Got it wrapped
a
up.
little bit crowded. I like it. Me Jack. I'm gonna make it plural.
Jack and Danny's.
Yeah. The balls are gonna be the Danny's.
Ooh, watch your Jack and Danny's
Yeah, just
there.
invented
Me
something.
Jack and
It's,
Danny's.
but it sounds like an Irishman would say it.
Yeah. Okay, that's two things. That's two things.
He's trying to wrap his head around
He
that
or
one.
don't know
she,
other
that
things.
guy, he or she
Oh,
is
man,
a
he's a
start.
start.
She's a start.
I don't know.
And
No,
I
I've
gotta-
never heard the term Jack and Danny. I don't know. Is that a thing you
let
guys
me-
call
let me
over
shift
here?
around. Me
What
Jack
kind
and
of
Danny's.
podcast is this?
You call it the meat and two veg over here?
The meat and what?
The meat and two veg?
That I've heard. That I've
That's what we
heard.
call it.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's all we call it.
You're gonna have plenty of great shorts on this
I
particular
think so,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
so.
so.
Jack and Danny.
The Jack and Danny's. Everybody, welcome the Jack and Danny. Hey!
It's a Jack and Danny
show.
It's my new band.
Coming to the stage. Well, this was delightful.
Really good.
Delightful. This was delightful. I
Not
love
going
this.
away.
You know how good this is? Because I keep wanting to talk to the microphone, but I keep sticking and I keep talking into the cup. I can't figure out which hand I gotta use.
And
for the
it's
microphone.
for me. it's
He's way ahead of the
bourbon.
game.
A bourbon.
He already has
forward.
a designated driver for the ride home tonight. He knew. I told him. I said, boys,
She's right over
said it.
there.
I said,
That's
buckle
right.
up.
My wife Jen, my lovely wife Jen.
Buckle up.
Well, you know, the imperial stout barrels that we used for this. We sent it up to a distiller or a brewer up in Donegal. Is his first name? Declan.
Danny.
Declan
And,
Donegal?
Declan makes
Declan and Donegal.
Declan and Donegal. He makes these. He makes snifter beers. You know, the kind. He just makes very eclectic beers, and nothing that nothing
Sure.
too easy to drink. These things are all snifter stuff that you drink like wine.
Yeah.
So he made this imperial stout in our barrels, and it's a 12.5%, something like that. Imperial stout, delightful. and send us the barrels back, and we put whiskey in it. So that's what you're
Is that,
drinking
was
today.
that
Beautiful
Moscatel? What is that?
Hey, Chet.
Yeah.
Do you have your
Yes,
phone
sir.
handy?
Dessert one.
Do I have my what?
Your
Is that,
phone
am I
handy.
drinking
Sir,
this one right
but-
now?
No. You're drinking.
Let's get to the next one, shall we?
Mom.
The malt, right?
Let's do
Yeah.
let's do a little bit of Moscatel.
Mom's what?
Moscatel is.
No, the
Let me-
Moscatel.
Yeah, gotta finish this first.
Miska
Now I see
Moscatel.
You move so fast. You move so fast from one to the other. Now I see why you guys
Well, you're doing the
small
talking, so
nipples.
yeah, I got small nipples.
Small little.
Go ahead.
We empty.
I'm empty.
So this one.
That's good for now.
So this one is. This is the start of our single malt.
Cheat me there a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah.
Not at all, Chip.
And
Not
the-
at
at
all.
the end of the
Little
evening,
bit-
you'd
little bit
appreciate
for
that.
Chip.
Right
Chip,
off the bat,
you're
I
kind of
smell-
the you're the only one with ice, so you're getting you're tasting everything
almost got some ice.
with a little bit of a little water
Butterscotch.
opening.
Butterscotch,
opening
caramel,
things up a
yeah.
little bit. Okay,
Butterscotch.
Last time I
Yeah.
did some tasting without ice, and I went down the wrong pipe, and it just was
Didn't
not,
go well
not a
for
good
you?
experience. Yeah.
Oh
remember?
yeah, oh definitely.
A lung full of whiskey.
Butterscotch.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this.
Really nice.
Yeah. So this one.
What I
And
say
lucky-
earlier, I'm giving up candy for Lent. I'm glad I'm having this now because this is
Yes.
candy. This is candy in a glass.
to hear
Butterscotch,
it.
my favorite.
And,
I'm not
and
gonna
Lucky
tell you.
Strikes.
I'm not going to tell you anything about what you should be. Well, you know, actually, I will. I'll suggest maybe what you should be tasting out of this, but I'll tell you about how this relates to our three single malt exclusive barrel picks with OHLQ first.
Oh my God.
So these are all like a snapshot of the exact same whiskey, but just what that particular barrel should do to that whiskey. So these are all triple distilled, non-chill filtered, no added coloring. So all these different variations of color that you see on these whiskeys, they're exactly as that barrel intended it, and they're all barrel proof, by the way. So they're all 58%.
What's the proof?
And this one
is
is
58 as well.
58%.
And you were explaining what a Muscatel is.
Yeah, so a white muscatel barrel, it's a fortified wine barrel, basically. So it and it's actually, the reason why we used this color label is the wine itself comes out of the barrel. That's sort of like deep amber color, as opposed to these where it's more like a tawny port, like dark ruby
So
color.
they're finished in wine barrels that have already been used.
Exactly.
Is that correct? Okay.
So these are finished. So this white muscatel barrel is, so this white muscatel single malt is 3 years in ex bourbon and 4 years in an ex white muscatel, and it's the first.
I've never swallowed anything this unique.
That's what she said.
I mean, Muscatel.
All right, Andrew,
I mean,
we're back to the whiskey.
Enough of your sexual history.
I walked right into that one. Didn't
It's
I?
half an hour into the.
Wow.
Over softball.
It was almost like, you know what? It's too easy. It's too easy. But this is. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So this is basically the first 2 years that this spent in its white muscatel cask. It brought everything that we expected. So it brought everything that you expect from a good fresh white muscatel cask. So it brought a lot of that.
That's a good word. This
Yeah.
tastes fresh.
Yeah.
This has
Yeah.
got a very fresh feel to it, and the finish is really smooth
Yeah.
and light.
Yeah.
It like dissolves in my mouth.
Yeah.
It's good to hear it. Yes, Hansbury, enough.
And Muscatel barrels are very hard to source as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, highly sought after barrel, expensive and hard to source. Yeah, it's hard to get them in
Wasn't
season
it
too.
W.C. Fields who liked Muscatel? I believe it was Muscatel. I just remember W.C. Fields.
Well, you know, and some of them are. I think Muscatels generally it's matured 2 years minimum.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
up to 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's a long matured wine that so the barrels, finding barrels is hard to come around. So.
But they're soaked with it.
Right.
I'm taking a sniff. I'm sniffing this.
I looked right at Martin.
I'm totally sniffing this. You can smell you can smell certain flowery aspects of it if you just take a whiff of it. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like
Most-
definitely smells like almost like tequila.
You know what this gave the first 2 years? What we from the maturation, this final 4 year maturation, it gave honeyed fruits, like honeyed light sugar fruits.
Yeah.
The final 2 years of the maturation, it started giving a lot more, like, I'm gonna say it, it's not something you expect a tasting note for a single malt fortified wine finished single malt to be. Marshmallow and cotton candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what a lot of this was given for.
So when these are maturing and through the whole process, are you with them every step of the way as they go along?
Yeah, you try to keep on it because we'll be talking about a little bit with some of the others, especially a tawny port malt. You don't want it to start tasting like a tawny port.
And at any point, do you get concerned or worried? Like, okay, this is not going the way I thought it would go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what and make adjustments?
The only adjustment you can really make there is to
at that point
either stop the maturation and take it out of that cask and put it into an inert, like a container, like an IBC, or you can put it into an ex-bourbon cask, which has been used so many times that it's not adding anything, but it is still allowing the whiskey to mature. So basically, you can put it into an ex-bourbon cask that is not having its influence on the whiskey, but it gets older every year still at the same time, and it keeps mellowing out to a certain extent.
Does it keep you up nights, lad?
Just until about 5 in the morning. I gotta work.
Right when he has to be at work.
Worrying.
Yeah. No, it does do a wee bit, yeah.
No, this is delicious. Okay. Well,
I've only tasted 2, but my vote is this is the one that Canepa goes bam.
that's your vote for now. Right now.
Yeah.
Don't say anything yet till the end.
Yeah,
of
no,
the
no, no, no,
No, I'm not going to say a word,
Don't say anything yet.
No.
Because
We'll
it's
see
funky
what kind
enough
of
where I
votes
think
in.
it grabbed his attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're right. That's a good profile. Canepa likes to be surprised. So yeah,
true.
It's this podcast turns into the Canepa quiz show.
I don't know how Canepa was surprised, by the way, because I was coming in. This is at the end of the day. This is like a 5-hour day, and Jim and Anne and the whole delegation, they were there all day, like 9 until 5 o'clock, tasting lots of different whiskies at 20-minute intervals throughout the whole day. And I don't know how in the gym. I was expecting to come in just like everybody sauntered back in the chair and seeing a whole different Jim Canepa than the one I had heard about. Yeah.
I've been on barrel selections with him and the crew from OHLQ.
They can be. He manages to hold his own.
He has learned well.
Yeah.
We've had great times.
No, I don't know how they managed
Those
to
have
pull
been good
themselves
trips.
through that day, but that was
Good trips.
This turned into the Canepa podcast, just like the last one we did.
Well,
we talked about Canepa a lot.
We did. You know,
He's a mystery man. We got to get him in here.
He's been in here.
I know. Again, we got to get him in here again.
Well, like I said,
It's a different podcast.
it'll be a whole different podcast next time around. I'll be interested to see which.
A little more
Canepa-
smoke.
Well, the joke was he would always bring samples when he came last time. I don't think he can bring samples this time around. It's
This
gonna
one's
be
orange Kush.
yeah. It's
Pineapple
either going to be
Express.
the shortest
Try it.
or the really longest podcast we've ever had.
We're just gonna be staring at each other for 20
It'll be
minutes
both
at a time.
because we can cut out on the
Willie
dead air.
Nelson's going to sit down.
20 minutes of snoring.
Man. All right. Well, again, gentlemen, well done. Completely different. It's a standalone.
yeah,
It's a standalone.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's unique. It's unique. I would almost, if I was out to dinner and had a great meal and I wanted not dessert, but maybe
A little teaser for dessert.
that would be my go-to right
be a good
there.
one, yeah.
That's just sweet enough to.
It's more complex than the Angel Envy Rye. That's pretty straightforward. This gives you your mouth something to think about.
Yeah.
What's this one called? What's the name
you
of it?
mentioned Angel.
So this is
Angel Envy
this
Rye
is our single malt. This is our barrel pick
It's
exclusive.
a dessert. I
from
think that's a
HLQ.
You
dessert.
think that's a dessert one?
So it's a
It tastes
single
like
malt
candy.
finish. Or it's a white muscatel cask finished single malt. 7 years old.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let's
Finish up what you got, boy. Okay, Chip, you good? You,
Oh yeah, I'm really good.
pouring big ones. I'm a goddamn amateur over here.
You've been drinking all day.
That's
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah.
Martin.
I can listen to Martin all night. I love that accent. Oh my god, it's crazy.
Pat, tell us. He was at our Halloween podcast we did at the
Yeah,
jury
he was,
room.
Yeah, how do we do, Pat?
Let me finish.
It's a fantastic podcast.
Put a little bit more in there
so
while
there
I'm
was
finishing my big one.
I already had a second pour, but go
odd
ahead.
drinks with eyeballs
we
floating in them.
With
but,
that included BUA.
right.
How long we known each other?
What
What are you doing?
And what's your connection? Are you related somehow?
To Megan Dempsey owns
Right.
Jury Room
Right.
and Dempsey's. So her now deceased husband Mark was with that, and but Megan Dempsey is my wife Molly's sister.
Oh, okay.
So sister-in-law.
Yeah, there's a connection there.
Cool.
It's a good connection.
Jury room's a great bar.
Jury
And
room's
Di-
great bar.
Dempsey's is
Great
right
bar.
by
Yeah.
jury
Do you like
room,
the
like
jury
right next
room?
door.
Right up
They're
Yeah.
right. Jury Room's right directly behind Dempsey's, and
So they're gonna get all these.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Without a
Oh,
doubt. How do you think? I'm wearing my my
spot bar?
my spot bar hoodie, whatever, lack of a better word.
There's no hood on
There's
that.
no
hood
hood.
on it.
There's no hood on that at all.
Have a hoodie.
Where is that?
This is the spot bar. How do you think these would fare in Steubenville, Ohio?
Oh well, actually, I mean Steubenville has BUA.
Do they?
The big city? You're talking about the
I'm
big
talking
city?
with the big city of
The big
Steubenville.
city?
You're goddamn
big
right I
city of
am.
Steubenville.
Not
They've
Youngstown,
got-
not Cleveland,
no,
Steubenville.
the big city. It's they have BUA there.
They got the BUA?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that the
So-
spot bar has the BUA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made sure we got it out there because there's an Irish band that had one of the band members married a girl from Steubenville, and
Well, you know my
Then-
theory on
so-
Steubenville. It's the center of the universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If there's
And
like
so-
2, 3, at the most 4
and
degrees of separation.
The band, the Irish band,
Steubenville.
loved BUA. They still love BUA, and they wanted access to it. And it says, we can put it in Steubenville since you're going to Steubenville all the time. So we can put it in there, and that way I don't have to give it to you for free always.
Right.
So you can actually go and buy it.
Yeah.
Which is
Who's the band? The
marvelous, isn't it?
Chieftains?
No, that's a little big. That's a little.
The Jack and Danny's.
It was Scythian. Scythian is a band out of they're based in DC area. So great band.
Steubenville.
Irish
Steubenville's
band?
Great.
Irish band.
All right. Do
Great
they
band.
play the
Steubenville's-
Dublin Irish
Steubenville's
Festival
starting to
here?
rock
They
again.
do
It's starting
play
to
the
come
Dublin Irish
back. They're
Festival.
bringing back the downtown in Steubenville. It's starting to get lively again. It's a big
That's
attraction at Christmas time.
I like walking across the bridge because it's just kind of scary enough.
It's scary.
It's scary enough that maybe it scares you into jumping. I don't know.
A lot of good times in Steubenville. Okay, good. Well,
I like Steubenville.
The Spot Bar is like one of the oldest and legendary
Is it
bars.
by Big Red?
Down a little further down from Big Red.
Okay.
It's in the heart of downtown Steubenville.
I'm just showing off my Steubenville knowledge.
I know stuff.
You never been to Steubenville?
Never been to Steubenville.
We should go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I was there only one time.
I've been there with Dino. I think I went to the spot bar with you, actually.
Yeah, you did.
Do
You
they
did.
still do the Dean Martin Festival?
They still do the Dean Martin Festival.
There you go.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
it's
Let's go
Dean
that
Martin
weekend.
Festival. Dean
Do you
Martin
host it ever?
Sponsored by BUA.
You've been there before.
I actually have done. Did I ever host anything for them? I can't remember if I did or not. I met some cool people at the Dean Martin. I met
You
Dennis.
should. You're a
met-
local boy made well.
I met Dennis Farina. He was one of the grand marshals at the. Remember him from Midnight Run, and
Midnight Run?
Dennis.
I've never
Farina-
seen that movie.
Shut up.
What?
You.
I think
I'm kidding,
you
I'm
you
kidding.
were even born when that came out.
Oh my God, John!
It's an
are
inside
you
joke
kidding me?
between us. I've seen it. I borrowed his DVD and then I lost it.
Oh,
And this was like years ago.
Not years. Well, it took him years to get it back. Yeah. It
And
did.
he called me out. Like years have gone by, and he opened it up and he goes, "Hansberry was the last one I had this." And he called me out on it.
Yeah. You know what was in there instead of Midnight Run?
What?
Veggie Tales.
And I went downstairs to get the Veggie Tales.
And guess what? Veggie Tales doesn't star Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. Nowhere
Doesn't say
close.
fuck at
Or
all.
Dennis Farina, for that matter. Anyway, he's replaced it since then, so God bless you.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Let me
the
finish
right thing to
this,
do.
this third little taste of the single malt, the white muscatel. This is
Very
outstanding. And like I said, a standalone on its own.
This is this one?
I think this one just is
is the
you
one
can
we're
almost
drinking.
separate it from the rest.
Yeah.
It's got a unique flavor profile to
I
it.
just
Yeah.
had this one.
What's the price point on these?
This one,
by
the
way?
price point on this one is $79.99 retail.
I'd pay it.
What's the?
What about the other ones? The single grain.
The single
Alcohol
malts,
proof.
The single malts are all.
All these are $79.
Okay.
This one is $54.
Yeah,
There you go. There's your
that's a sweet spot right there.
That's a
that's
whiskey
your sweet
business
spot.
price point.
That's your
Yeah,
your sweet
that could be
sweet
the
spot.
winner.
And this one's the original is sub 40, right?
Yeah.
30,
Yeah, this
30,
is-
33, 39.
Yeah.
How do you come up with the price?
I just.
Who comes up with
I
30,
just-
Just right now.
33.39.
Well, actually, OHL key.
Yeah, they do.
We tell them how much it costs them,
and then they
and they
decide
decide how much it's
how
going to
much
cost.
how much it's gonna
It's going to cost. Well, as a bar owner, it costs me the same. So it's
Yeah, it does. You have to buy your own whiskey. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I've got.
I never thought about that.
Every bottle of BUA I've ever stocked in my bar, or even drank on my own, I've had to buy from the state of Ohio.
That's crazy.
Or-
It's your whiskey.
You know, it's
the law.
It's just because it's an import. So,
Sure.
And if I was distilling it at home, it'd be a
Chlorine down
different
there.
story. But I get to pay retail.
Martin, can you tell us like where are the rick houses? Tell are they anywhere special? Or are they somewhere?
So they're it's up in the rugged east coast of Ireland, just about in north. Yeah, Pat's doing it now.
He's stopping you.
Pat's
So,
giving the
so
little.
you do,
Well,
and
yeah,
then you
again,
pick
you
which
guys-
one you
you
want.
guys
at
had
the
wordless
end.
clink.
The bigger
4
pour.
hours.
Well, it's
Here's what I got a pour cup. This might be the first time in whiskey business history
Spit cup.
I got a little cup
For
what?
Too.
to pour my excess in.
Tactic.
Oh, all right.
And who drinks that?
It's a good job.
It's probably me.
We flip a coin at the end of the night, and then whoever loses drinks it.
All right.
So up on the
Tell us a little bit
an hour
about
north of Dublin is where we finished these maturations. So the beauty about up on the east coast there of Ireland, but the beauty about maturing in Ireland as opposed to over here, where the summers are a lot harsher. The Irish summers, it's not as much of like a difference between night and day, hot and cold temperatures. So there's not as much of an expansion contraction of the wood. The climate on that wood is a lot easier than say the climate is on the wood over here. So
Interesting.
yeah, we don't have as much of a harsh after 8 years, 7-8 years of a bourbon, you really need to start keeping an eye on that. That's why you don't see a whole lot of bourbons which are in first fill ex-bourbon casks in like those, really hot temperatures over here. That's why you don't see a lot of them.
Is it because of the moisture in the air that kind of keeps it from? Explain that a little bit further. The temperatures and
So really, it's the expansion contraction of the wood, where the whiskey is allowed into the wood and squeezed out of the wood, and allowed into the wood and squeezed out of the wood on a regular basis, especially when it's like night and day temperatures, hot and cold.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's not as much. The more moist that the air would be, that would help it too, rather than a dry, arid climate.
Yeah.
But really, like the temperatures over here are a lot harsher on the maturation of a.
Oh, we live in Ohio. We
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Irish temperatures for maturation, it allows much more of a gentle maturation where you're able to keep an eye on it more. It's more forgiving almost, and you can see the problem coming before it happens a little more. Like you don't want, like what we're drinking now, what I've just poured is a first fill tawny port cask. That this has been in, like look at the color on that. This is all natural color, and it's been in a first fill ex tawny port
Looks nice.
for
It's a
3
dark
years.
Irish whiskey. It's a very dark Irish whiskey.
After 3 years, after 2 years, I started thinking, right, this is getting towards going too far. But after 3 years, I was like, I've had my suspicions. That's almost too far.
I have two questions. I had a sidebar question, but I'm going to come back to it because I want to ask this one because it's immediately in my mind. How does this feel to you? I mean, to go from when I first met you and you were just a representative for a fine whiskey.
Nervy.
Yeah, you're right. And now to actually have a hand in creating something that so many people are consuming, is it? Do you feel? Is there pride Is there fear? Is there what? I mean, what's going through your mind?
There's a bit, yeah. I mean, look, there's a little bit of pride. There's a lot of fear. Yeah, it's nervy, but also, Jesus, I mean, there's a hell of a lot of gratitude that people are still behind the brand. You know, that people are still like, Jesus, yeah, that is incredible. Like, people are like there was the last 2 days. There was and I'm not going to spoil it and tell you which one to like the most.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh my God, Jesus. There was a lot of people coming down and saying, this particular one is the one that, wow, that's the one. And it's like, yes,
Best
that's
we've tasted
exactly
all
what
day.
I was going for with that one. You know,
Yeah.
you've nailed it, and you've nailed the taste and note that I just gave you with that. You know,
So do you feel that you've arrived?
No, well, no. God, Jesus.
No, seriously. I mean, as far as as a whiskey maker, do you feel?
No, well, no,
That
no.
tor-
I don't know shit
That
about.
tortoise is still working.
Still
walking
working?
real
All right.
slow.
It's a legitimate question.
No. I'm very much the small guy. No, there's.
No, personally, do you feel like you've accomplished a goal? You've gone from here to here.
No,
That's-
there's once an imposter, always an imposter. I think.
You think you
Yeah, I
feel
think so.
you got the
Yeah.
the whole imposter
Yeah.
thing
it's-
going on?
syndrome.
yeah.
Fake it till you make
Once
it.
an imposter, always an imposter.
But
Really.
but you're not. You're making whiskey.
And you made
No,
it.
well, you're constantly surrounded by people who, in this industry, it's a small industry, but you're constantly surrounded by absolute rock stars
Rock
of the
stars,
industry, and they were
geniuses.
rock stars of
The
the
people
industry.
behind the scenes are truly the rock stars that are really doing it.
Yeah.
My sidebar question: What's the best time of year to go to Ireland?
Oh, good question. I'm not going to say Paddy's Day.
No.
Paddy's Day
I
in
don't
Ireland
mean
is
as far as
not-
the holidays go. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's- we've talked about that in the previous podcast.
Paddy's Day is
It's
not
that
the
big a
best
deal.
time. Yeah,
it's
no.
not a big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
I'm talking weather-wise, and so forth and so on. What's the best time to visit to get? Oh man,
Yeah.
Ireland,
Halloween.
Halloween,
Halloween
October.
is an Irish festival. Did you know
No
that?
way.
It did
I'm
not.
going.
Why?
Yeah.
Why
Halloween
is
is
it
an Irish festival.
How so?
So Halloween is a Iha Samhain. So it's basically Halloween is it's the celebration in Ireland where All Saints Day. Basically, it's where
It's a Catholic thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
well,
that's
it's more of a pagan thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, true. The
Catholic.
Catholics of
Yeah.
I'm a pagan.
Where
They
everybody
all need each other.
where everybody dresses up. Basically, everybody would dress up to scare the evil spirits away. Is what the whole is how it came from. And like, do you know the pumpkins? Everybody carves pumpkins. It used to be turnips. Pumpkin love turnips. We carve turnips, and then but over here, I guess
Those have
turnips.
to be. How big are the fucking turnips in Ireland that you can carve them?
healthy turnips. I
They're
guess.
healthy terms.
Yeah, but
That's
So
great.
you think we're weird for
October.
carving pumpkins?
no, actually not at all. No, it used to be
That's
turnips,
you.
but no,
That's
no,
all
pumpkins.
you. So now you got to make a trip. That's the Whitneys.
Oh yeah,
I'm
Jim's
going.
looking up flights right now.
She
Let's
just
go.
said, that's their next trip.
Halloween.
I'm
That's
going.
their next trip. I guarantee
Hey,
you
Dino, I'm
that the
going
Whitneys
too.
are going to Ireland some
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
to
How do you
experience it.
celebrate? How do like just like America parties,
A little
trick or
bit,
treat?
yeah, a
blah,
little
blah,
bit like
blah,
America. Yeah, I mean, there's the dressing up, there's the trick or treating, and there's the usual. But
because St. Patrick's Day isn't really a raucous holiday over there.
No,
is that
We
right?
discussed that before.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
podcast. It's
yeah.
not. It's not a
it's
big
more
deal.
of a family celebration, a family get
like a
together. Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
it's not like an excuse to throw a big session.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I mean, Halloween's supposed to be really big next year with the whiskey business tour coming through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's true.
He just booked us.
Yeah, right now. I would go.
How big is your apartment, Martin?
So when you go back, do you see family? Do you squeeze in some family time when you're there?
Yeah, I live in the same town as my parents. Yeah, and yeah, all my siblings are out of town now.
Okay, so are they proud of you? Because
You're trying to get the heartstrings going.
to get the parents' approval is one of the hardest things in the world as a son or a daughter.
I used to be.
I'm still trying
Yeah,
to get my mother's approval.
yeah. Do you know I still get asked every now? So I used to be. Both my parents are teachers. My father was a primary school principal. They're both retired now. all my siblings are teachers. They're all primary school teachers. I used to be a teacher. I used to be a secondary school PE teacher. Physical education teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Secondary, what's that? Middle school, 6, 7, 8.
Secondary school, so 12 till 18. Yeah.
Oh, like high school.
Yeah.
It's high school.
Yeah.
You were a high school teacher.
Yeah, I was a high school
Oh,
physical
you would have
education
been my
teacher.
favorite.
I wasn't some
Anybody-
people's
yeah,
favorite.
I got Kennedy. I'm good.
Yeah, we're all right. We're good.
You know what? I joke, but I bet you were a good teacher.
I enjoyed teaching.
I
But
bet you
also
did.
had the nicest subject because the lads who were having a hard time, God love them, in other subjects, they come into the physical education class where, all of a sudden they're able to lay off all that steam and they're able to just be themselves and they're able to just have the crack and have the fun and have the, take it easy. Whereas I guess it's more so the people who would excel in a more of a structured classroom setting that would maybe have trouble in the chaotic scenes of my physical education classes.
How many years were you a teacher?
I was a teacher for less years than I trained to be a teacher.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So where I was going with that is my dad every now and again he's kind of stopped asking me this, but he'd ask me every now and again when I'd be diverging. I've gone on a few divergences in my career, but I've settled on one anyway. He's asked me less and less every time, but he asked me, he says, do you ever think you'd go back to the teaching?
Back to the steady job.
Back
to the job where you could actually get a pension and benefits and whatnot and so forth. And your answer is?
I'm still working my arse off at 4 o'clock in the morning drinking with Dino Tripolis.
There you go. There you go. I'm sure that goes over really well with the family. Yeah. So I've never been. It's on my bucket
You
list
should go.
to Ireland. And now that
I think we
maybe-
need a
maybe
show
it's
in Ireland.
Maybe it's this podcast
There you
influencing me, but I think how do you see that trip working out? You and me, like next time. say I was able to, like you say, Dino, I'm heading back. Can you go? And I say yes, I can. How do you see that trip working out?
Many
What
days
do you see happening?
Many days do you have?
What?
Many days do you have? Many days are we
How
doing?
many days would I
How
need?
many days are we doing here?
How many
'Cause
days
we
would I need?
We need recovery days, and there's
Recovery days.
Dino, call me first.
Call you first.
I've done that.
What? Okay, so what would be the adequate amount to go, do it right, and recover?
I
Tell
think
me
the
how
first
many
thing you
days.
need to do, because you need to give yourself 2 days anyway in the first place, is you need to give yourself a day to get out of Dublin, a day to get back into Dublin. The first thing I'd say is get out of Dublin. Nothing that I don't have anything against Dublin, but Jesus, there's so much more to Ireland than Dublin. And most people, they tend to fly into Ireland through Dublin, and then they do Dublin for a few days, and then they might do a day outside of Dublin or a day,
And I'm
somewhere
good
else.
with that because I like the off the beaten path.
I went to Dublin and I went into this bar. I'm like, here we are.
You were in Ireland?
Authentic Ireland. And they were playing Leonard Skinner. My sister lived in Dublin for a little bit.
And they probably think he's gonna love this.
He loves Leonard Skinner and Freebird.
I would want to go. I would like to do the off the beaten path.
Yeah. So first
you
thing
could-
I'd
you-
say is
you could do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. First thing I'd say is get into Dublin, spend maybe a night or two maybe in Dublin, and then go west. And then we
West
go
to where?
We go west, and you can drive from the east coast of Ireland to the west coast of Ireland in an hour and a half. You should probably do
That sounds like a whiskey business miniseries right
Yes, it
here,
does.
right now.
And
I
during
have my passport. I know John does.
I do.
Travel
Yeah,
series,
mine's. Yeah, I got a couple. Pick a name. I got a couple of them.
Let's do it. I'm free. I'll do it.
So are we, in that hour and a half? Are we drinking?
that hour and a half. I am driving.
You're driving.
Right. I mean, that hour and a half is probably supposed to be 2 hours, but I can do it. I can do it in an hour and a half. I can do it in an hour and a half.
All right. So
then we're in Galway. Galway is a great little town. So Galway's got lots of great music. Galway's got the Aran Islands. Galway's got it's got the Cliffs of Moher. You probably have to do the obligatory Cliffs of Moher.
I don't.
Just south of
If
Galway.
you tell me it's obligatory, that means it's special.
It's the one where everybody that goes to Ireland just see the photographs. But
Okay.
it is actually it's pretty
It's like going to
special.
Stonehenge.
Yeah,
Where the
not a lot
demons
unlike it. Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
the guitar player that's got the song? Eric something got the. You should come on. You should know this.
Why
The
would he
Cliffs
know
of,
it?
I don't know. Because he's Irish.
He's a
The Cliffs of
borrower.
Moher, Eric Johnson.
Oh, I was
Nobody's arguing
I was,
with you, so.
I was thinking Christy
Cut
Moore.
this out.
There's the Byrne and the
yeah.
Cliffs of Moher, the Tullen.
Yeah.
Sing it, Pat.
Kilfenor,
Listen, Byrne.
Michael Russell, Dr. Bill,
All right.
Noel Clancy, and
All right, so
I'm-
my first trip to Ireland is going to have to be with Martin.
I was gonna show you this.
Show me.
One of my favorite roads in Ireland here.
Why is that a favorite road?
Oh,
Maybe you can hold it up so John
Okay.
can see it in the video too.
Why is it a favorite
It's
road
a-
as you're pulling
well,
it up?
A romantic.
Okay. I showed you
Road.
the closed-in version of it. The open version
Oh, wow.
is, you can see, it looks like an alley,
Yeah, it does.
and it's 80 kilometer speed limit. 80K.
And I asked him, that's one way,
It's-
right? He goes, no,
It's
yeah.
two-way.
It's too-
Driving is great over there.
yeah.
There's nothing stressful.
You just go.
It's fun. But yeah, driving in Ireland can be stressful.
I
and
think
it's,
I'd be white knuckling that road.
you know,
But you gotta assert. See, this is it. You gotta assert dominance on those roads.
Right.
Yeah.
You got. I mean, everybody can see
It'll
that.
take me a couple hours to get
Right.
used to it.
Not
One
to
thing is
mention,
you-
I imagine
one
we're on the other side too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're on the
yeah,
left,
yeah.
and you're on a manual stick shift as
Oh,
well.
and I
Yeah.
could drive a stick shift like
Yeah.
nobody's business.
learned on one.
Those
yeah,
are the
yeah,
real.
yeah,
Those are
yeah,
the real
no
ones.
worries there.
Yeah.
No
I,
worries
you know
there.
what? I don't think I think if I was to change to a manual stick shift though, I learned to drive on a manual stick shift, but I think if I was to change to do it on my other hand, to do all the same stuff on my other hand, that
Yeah.
would be a problem. I think. Yeah, because that's when I start.
oh yeah, when you
Any
shifted,
Mac. I was just
microphone.
doing it. I was
Trying to hit the clutch
Very
there,
good.
Martin.
Very good.
You trying to get the
Very good.
clutch, Martin?
oh yeah, pulling out
right.
of
We've
the
been-
rental
foot,
car
Martin.
lot, shifting the second.
We've
to open
been-
the door.
Talking our asses off and haven't tried this yet.
I'm done with mine.
Did you drink yours already?
Well, this
then-
to
all
me
right, so
tastes
you-
the
before
most
we-
iconic
All right,
Irish
did you
whiskey.
drink yours as well?
I'm working on it. Here.
All right,
So
so,
this
you
is-
boys go ahead and comment. What do you
this
think
is-
before I even taste it?
There we
This
go.
tastes to me the most like a quote unquote iconic, typical Irish whiskey.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
You know,
And
yeah.
Whitney,
like it's not.
your thoughts
One way
before I
too
even
far.
take a sip?
It's the white snake of hair bands.
No, you know what? He's probably true. It's probably true. It's a little sweet, a little spicy on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's
Like
good
it,
stuff.
Chip? Have
Yeah.
you tried it yet?
I have, yes.
And your thoughts?
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Your thoughts? No.
I don't. I had it. And it was delicious.
I remember tasting it.
So this is
So
a
good.
tawny port. This is, I should say, these next two, they're both tawny port finished single malts.
Yeah.
So they're both a snapshot, kind of like
they
the.
different?
They're both different. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so they're not the same thing. I thought maybe you just brought two.
Well,
because
how
it
are they
was low.
different?
I was right.
So-
There is
Right.
another one.
I apologize, John Whitney.
This is a first fill. The difference between the two of them is this is a first fill tawny port, and this is a second fill tawny port cask that we used. So we used the first fill tawny port cask. We matured a triple distilled single malt in ex bourbon for 4 years, and then went 3 years with that ex tawny port first fill cask, and then this second fill, this batch 2, is same vineyard, again a tawny port, but we matured it for 4 years in an ex bourbon, and then 3 years in an ex bourbon, and then 4 years in a second fill. So you notice the color difference on the two of those. Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Same
this is-
tawny port, same vineyard.
And a tawny port is a beer,
Same
like a
juice,
funky beer
same
again.
juice.
No,
It's
tawny
just a-
port's it's a fortified
Port
wine.
wine.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a port wine.
yeah,
Port wine.
yeah. So about 12% alcohol strength wine.
Am I wrong to say that out of everything we've tasted here tonight, and I mean this in a good way, that this is a little grittier?
Ooh.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you're dead
not
right.
an uncommon response.
Yeah.
So this one is, people look at a bottle on a shelf oftentimes, and who's to tell them they're wrong? But people look at a bottle on a shelf and they see the darkest one and they think, shit, that's the one that's got the most to it. But it's often not the one that's got the most nuance to it. You know, the second one that we're about to taste is a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more balanced, I would even say. I would say this one that we're tasting is less balanced, but in a way that is exactly what people are looking for. Just the same as some people walk into a bar and there's like, what's your hoppiest beer?
And like I said,
Yeah,
when I
the
say
malt level of this
when I
is
say
the max.
grittier,
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad
Right.
way. I
Yeah.
just mean it's like
Yeah,
it's
This one has got exactly what people are looking for when they're looking. Geez, I love tawny port finished malts. So this one is like a lot of those like raisins and plums and figs and dates. It's a lot of that, and it's lots of it, and you can see by the color of it that it's lots of it.
Great on the
if I-
nose. A
what-
lot
like,
of that
okay,
on the nose, too.
This
Yeah.
is the best way I could put it. If I knew I was going to be fighting, if I knew I was going to be fighting, this is the one that I'd want.
chug the whole bottle.
This is the one. This is the one I think that would kind of level me up to where I needed to be. Where I would do like, let's go,
There you go.
It's rock and
let's
roll.
go, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah.
Gotta slam it down like Taylor Swift, bro.
Yeah.
Saturday
Wow.
night's all right for fighting. Let's get some Skinner going on in here.
I love Taylor Swift, but you just ruined it with that reference.
Well, she was slamming booze.
Yeah, I saw that. No, this is
It's-
good. Okay.
It's not going to reverse 30 years.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. And that would be the best, Martin. If we got in a fight in Ireland, wow.
We should try to get them over to Echo while he's here to taste our whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're making.
due for a
We're about due for a test. We it's in the barrel now. We're waiting to the proper amount of time to call it bourbon.
4 grain
But we,
high rye.
It's got a high rye content. Yeah. We got a 4 grain whiskey that is percolating at Echo Spirits that we put together.
That
Our
sounds
own mash
lovely.
bill.
Have you had a few little tastings? of
We
it
tasted
before?
the White Dog, and
Yeah.
really good.
I gotta say, you know what they say. If you're tasting that first sip off
Yeah.
the pure White Dog and you like it, you're on your way. And yeah, I said to the boys, I said, you know what? You could probably bottle this right now as White Dog and sell
It's
We
it.
almost
use
been
blue
3
corn.
months. Yeah, blue corn.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to go a little different. I wanted to try something different. If we were gonna do it, let's experiment and try something really cool.
They said
and
they're
All
going
right.
to taste it about once every quarter, and it's been 3 months.
Sure.
So it's getting close.
What is the mash bill of a quote unquote Irish whiskey? High on the malt.
So there's 3 types of Irish whiskey, and then as a result of those 3 types, there's 4 types of Irish whiskey. So there's this one, the first one that we tasted. The first one that we tasted is let's put that aside for a minute. The blend. Second one that we tasted is a single grain. So that's basically an Irish whiskey that is made of a mash bill of any grain, any combination of grains. So mostly that's going to be corn. So that's why single grain Irish whiskey it mostly tends to be closer to what a bourbon would be.
yeah, I was gonna say this is
Yeah.
the one that
was sweet.
That's the most efficient way of
if-
producing a solid.
if bourbon lovers who don't normally drink Irish whiskey wanted something close and compatible,
yeah.
this would be the one.
So
for
the
them
single
to go
grain
to.
in that is probably corn. Or it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it absolutely is. Yeah,
Okay.
it's mostly corn is what was made with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's a single grain, then there's a single malt. So the single malt basically is made with the mash bill is 100% malted barley, and then there's also single pot still. So a single pot still Irish whiskey has actually got nothing to do with the stills, or it's really got to do with the mash bill. It is a combination of malted and unmalted barley.
Aha.
So that came about basically when to put it in a few short sentences are the issues we've had with the English.
As many sentences as you need, Martin. Take all the
The
sentences
issues
you
we've
want.
had with the English caught down to whiskey. But it came back to basically when the Crown wanted to tax Ireland, so they taxed one of the biggest raw materials that Ireland used for their exports, which was exports of beer and whiskey. And of course, malted barley is the biggest raw material for whiskey. So they taxed malted barley. That ramped up the cost of malted barley. So as a result of that, Irish distilleries decided, okay, well, we're going to use less malted barley and we're going to use more unmalted barley in our mash bills. And that created a whole new style of whiskey, lo and behold. Unintentional, but it turned out to be a whole
blessing in disguise.
Yeah, different blessing in disguise, which has resulted in fantastic whiskies like what we see now today,
Okay,
Yeah.
so now we're gonna go. We had the first one. Now we're gonna go to the second one, right?
Shit, I'm not done with this.
Okay.
I gotta say, like, I'm sitting next to Dino, and you're smoking these Lucky Strikes. The smoke, no, like the smoke is actually like it adds this like really nice flavor profile. I'm not trying to knock.
It does
like,
actually, yeah.
You know, it's like this adds a smoky kind of.
yeah.
I wish I could have given up cigarettes for Lent, but let's not be
Yeah.
crazy. But
He keeps kicking my camera and shit.
What you doing putting on my...
And circling back to this single grain, is single grain, single malt are kind of deceiving terms because single grain does not refer to any single grain. Single grain can be any grain, but it's aged in a single distillery.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
the single
So it's a-
distillery is what the single
and
is.
so it's a whole different single. Single malt means just malted barley.
Right.
Very descriptive. Single grain is not very descriptive at all. It means it's just done in one distillery.
Well, I appreciate you
I'm just clarifying.
clarifying. Yeah, I do. All right, so let's pour the last one. No, we just had that one.
Then we start over.
Well, we have to
been a
go
long
back
day,
and
we didn't-
review.
Well, what
We
you
have
have
to
to
go
do
back
is
and
pick your
We
favorite,
have to-
and then you get 3 or 4 fingers of it.
You have to check your answers before you submit your test.
So this is the last
So, John Whitney,
one.
while he's pouring, quick question:
Yes.
Are you glad you brought your designated driver, your
Oh,
wife, with you?
absolutely. Yeah. I'd like to stay out of jail as much as possible.
We'll be calling for our designated driver.
Well, there's a fine line between tasting and drinking 6 Irish whiskeys.
Trust me, I've hung out with Martin Kennedy. I know exactly
I
what
know
he
one
means.
thing, I'm not wearing these jeans tomorrow at work. I can't do it. They smell like whiskey now.
I will
this
be
one-
wearing these exact jeans to work tomorrow
Yeah, you
morning.
will.
Yes,
I just realized I'm wearing a
Can't wait till you see the next bag of
mustard-covered
whiskey he has.
blue T-shirt.
Martin only brought one outfit
Mostly
from
blue.
Ireland to wear.
Mustard-covered
I like the
blue
mustard on there.
T-shirt.
Yeah, it's
All
very
right.
good.
All right.
Good accent right there.
So, again, refresh my memory here. What's the difference between these two?
So this one, whereas the last one,
It's like a bar fight.
It's
Maybe
the
you can
Notre
put that
Dame
on there.
whiskey.
Yeah, you know.
That's the Notre Dame whiskey.
Okay, get some marketing right here, baby. It writes itself.
yeah. But the second fill is more the slap on the arse and the kiss on the cheek.
All right, yeah.
You know,
That's a little more
yeah,
romantic.
Yeah, it's more nuanced.
My favorite.
It's got less color on it there, as you'll notice. But do you know what? That's not an indication of what's inside the bottle, really, because this is spent 3 years first in an ex-bourbon cask, and then the final 4 years of its maturation in the second fill ex-tawny port cask.
Wait, and did you describe what's the difference between a first fill and a second fill?
So this first fill cask it's been fresh off the vineyard, so it's
Got
a
it.
fresh,
Right out of
wet,
the wine.
Yeah,
Got
yeah. Whereas this one we've used before,
Gotcha.
and then we've emptied it, and then this is our
Right,
second
so
time using it.
That's where you're saying more mellow, perhaps.
Yeah.
I haven't had a sip of it yet, but this seems like already the whiskey I would have after the fight. All right,
All right,
cheers,
cheers
boys.
to
He
the last
nailed
one,
it.
boys.
This guy's good.
Here's the last one, boys.
Chip, give me a click.
There you go, buddy.
There you go, pal. All right.
Well, there you go.
Staunch your friend.
Here.
More earthy for sure.
Boy, you really want to get into a fight, Dino, don't you? When we go to
In Ireland, yeah.
when
Even
you
if
do
I
the
lose.
clink.
I taste some citrus in it.
Can I just say, I've said it before, can I just tell you how proud I am of these guys? With how their noses and their palates have developed over the years on whiskey business. For him to say, oh, I pick up a little citrus.
And
That's
for him to
huge.
be right.
It's
He's
huge.
not even bullshitting.
And to be right. It's just like,
Yeah,
like-
well, you know.
Yawn. I'm kidding, of course.
It's very good.
so which one do you like better?
Okay, are we at the stage where we're saying it? So we've tasted all of them. Are we picking? Am I telling you which one is my favorite?
No. Out of these two.
Oh, out of the two tawnies?
Out of the two tawnies.
Oh,
Yeah,
second
just-
one. Oh, 100% second one.
Really?
Yeah. I don't be fighting anymore. No, it's the second one. It's
smoother.
the easy one. It's the,
smoother.
I like the second Tawny.
Anymore.
It's smoother.
Yeah, the second one is smoother,
Yeah.
but
you like fighting? Dino likes fighting.
I like the fighting whiskey. I like the one that's a little grittier. That's just me, though. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Is the single grain in this still corn, or is it?
No, this is 100. These are both 100% malt whiskey.
Malt whiskey.
So they're 100% malted barley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barley. That's what I was.
Yeah.
Malt
This is
not a
delicious.
corn- Not malt is not a grain.
100%. There's nothing wrong at all with this whiskey. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
as far as what
Yeah, there is.
wakes me up, that one.
This
For
one.
me. I mean, no,
And you know
between
what?
the two.
Couple drops of water in this
Would it
will
open up?
it'll whole different whiskey. Yeah, whole different. You know, like a whole. Yeah.
Is that like a up your ass gesture?
No, I don't know what that was. No, that wasn't.
That was a-
It's a whole different level of. Yeah, it brings out a lot more of those darker sugar fruits. With just a tiny drop of water, because it is. Jeez, I mean, they're all 58% alcohol by
Martin,
volume.
you
Chip,
haven't
bring
let
over
me
that
drink water
that
all
Irish,
week.
Kentucky water.
You mean there's water?
There is at least 48% water in that.
Here's some water that Dino got.
I'll do a splash of this.
You want to? This is the just old limestone mixing water. You want to?
Put a splash.
It's from Kentucky.
While we're
it's
doing
America
this,
mixing with Ireland.
That's
It's
the
the
good
water
water.
they used to make some of the whiskeys.
Thank you.
while we're talking, doing this, the question I was going to ask: when you're here in America, what's the bourbon? What do you look for? what are you excited to
I'm
get
gonna
to?
tell you something, and I don't know how it's going to go down.
Uh-oh.
Old Grandad Bonded.
Oh,
We
that's
love
good
old
stuff.
Granddad Bonded. We love old Granddad Bonded.
That
Bottle and bond.
is the stuff.
That is a
Very good.
whiskey value.
I take home a bottle of that with me
That's
every time I'm going
it's
home.
It's a whiskey value.
Yes.
It's a great pour. It's a great everyday pour.
Yeah.
The
because
prices
it's
are up.
affordable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
That
no
is one of
arguments.
my favorite whiskeys.
No
Not just
arguments.
American whiskeys, favorite whiskeys, full stop.
Oh,
Old
full
Grandad
stop.
Bonded is one of my favorite whiskeys. I tell everybody about it back home.
I can't dismiss
This
you.
man, I hear him quietly saying, Jesus, beside me.
Well, because I've had old whiskey bonded with Martin one time.
Which one? That one?
It only
With
took
Martin,
one time.
I've had old Granddad bonded one time,
Yeah.
and it really tasted like a roofie to me. It was maybe the worst morning of my life.
Really?
It's like I got up, and I generally get up at 4 a.m. and I go out and I walk for miles and stuff like this.
He
It's
does.
I woke up at 10:30. I didn't know where I was.
See, this
So,
man,
I don't know if that's a. Did you enjoy it?
I had a great time.
All right.
No.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So we were in Dayton actually. So,
Old
Yeah.
Granddad
Yeah.
Bonded.
yeah.
The
Yeah, that
whiskey
was-
that'll make you say, fuck that 4 a.m. walk.
Right.
he didn't even wake up, I don't believe. Though.
No,
Did you?
no, I missed
Yeah.
breakfast. I did.
And this
that.
man,
It
he
was-
really does. He's not even bullshitting. He wakes up every morning, put everybody to shame, no matter how big the night was. He will wake up every morning at 4 a.m. It could be after a half hour sleep, and he will walk 10 miles.
10 miles.
And then,
It's happened before, but
No, that's great. I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
yeah. I don't know how old of a man you are.
I drink a lot, and I have to
How old are you,
balance
if you
that.
don't mind me asking?
I'm 62.
62.
Okay.
God, I'm older than you.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Take the hat off. Let's see your
just-
hairline.
I'm just still ginger.
Oh, you got
No,
you
it's
got
not.
a lot of
It's
hair.
not
He's
ginger,
got a lot of hair.
It's not ginger anymore.
No.
You got a lot of good hair though, curly.
He's 62. I'm going to be 65. I need to start walking.
I'll be 63 in a month or so.
I'll be 65 in April. When's your birthday?
April 1st.
I'm April 21st.
Okay.
All right. I think we should take the month of April and celebrate our birthdays.
There we go.
There we go.
Well,
I got a
and
big
Ireland.
one coming up.
We'll have an eclipse.
Yeah,
an
April
eclipse
8th.
party. Yeah, we'll have
April
an
8th.
eclipse party.
That's where I'll be for the eclipse. I'll be at Byrne's Pub on April 8th. Things are going to get really dark.
Yeah. You're gonna black out for a different reason.
We're April babies.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything about this podcast tonight is just perfect. Perfect. All right. So, before we pick our favorite and see if we nail the Canepa quiz before it's all said and done, do we need to take a little taste of each?
Jim Canepa, that guy's a start.
We can forego the first one.
Yeah.
Because that one's classic and by the way, great. Great.
Absolutely, and I talked to Martin. It's drinking cask strength all night. It's hard to go back to an 80 proof, and
I understand.
Yeah.
It's easy to start on an 80 proof. That's
At our
what we did.
Halloween show, Jesse Hubbard made a cocktail with that.
Right.
It was so good.
It was fantastic.
Which I don't normally think of. I'm gonna mix an Irish whiskey in a cocktail, but it hit the spot. He's so
See,
good.
and I mentioned earlier that Martin is my whiskey kryptonite, and see, it's already working because I'm thinking like, okay, when this podcast is over, what are we going to do after that? And no. So we started.
Just another.
As you told me before, rules. All right,
Martin,
so
you have to
this
go
is the one we
home.
started with first, right? Afterwards, right? So, Johnny, what's that? Did you already pour some?
No.
What is it?
I'm still working on the last
Oh, it's the
Yeah, you do
last one.
you.
But
You
I
do
need
you.
this glass.
I'm still sipping this one too for a minute.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, you do your taste test.
All right. This is-
I'm gonna stay on the record and say, what was the one I said?
That orange one.
Yeah.
This one is the one. The
I'm good. I got plenty.
You were the white one.
Muscatel.
That's
The white Muscatel is the one that Jim Canepa is excited about.
That's the one you
It's-
say he's excited
Yeah,
about.
it's funky. This one is the most unique tasting of all of them. I think the one I would drink the most is probably this single grain blue one. I love that's just as sweet off the top. But the most unique, like I said, I've never had anything in my mouth like
Right.
this before.
Night's young.
You never will again.
It just finishes so dry. Like it's bizarre.
Because you have to drive. Well, you don't have to drive. Your wife's driving you, but I will taste them all.
Yeah,
since-
I've
already
made
That is-
my statement.
If that is the cross that you must carry on this Shrove Tuesday.
I'm just going to
This
walk.
Shrove Tuesday.
It's just a little over 10 miles. I'll give you a piggyback ride, Martin.
I could drink that all night.
Which one is that?
That's the single grain.
Very sweet up front.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Very nice.
It's
Yeah.
very
nice.
smooth. It's like sitting on the porch and with the
Yeah.
sun in your face and just the breeze.
Yeah.
Listen
Listen to the radio.
Clear in the
John.
trees, just like
Listen to the
Whispering
baseball
to you.
game on the
No, I-
radio
and-
on the
and-
summer porch.
it's good
And I
stuff.
think that
There you go. Yeah. Sometimes he gets very poetic. He sent me a text about potatoes at a sandwich shop, and just his description of the potatoes made me say, "God damn, I want them taters."
Yeah, I
Was I
cried.
lying? Did
Yeah.
I lie?
No, you weren't lying. You described them beautifully.
What was
Did you go?
What was
So
the
it-
potatoes?
Warriors.
Warriors. Rep the
Warriors?
corner.
Did you go yet?
And
Yeah, I
Warriors,
did.
if you want to be a sponsor, we'll get you on the podcast. The best cheesesteak sandwich in
Oh
town.
man, let's go. Who do we know who owns it?
They be putting potatoes into their cheesesteaks.
No. These are
No.
separate. These are a side.
It's,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's like a
It's a-
white or
it's
a
a side.
red skin potato which is baked, and they crush it
Oh, okay.
just like in
Okay.
its skin, and then deep fry it, and they put Parmesan cheese over top.
Oh, that does sound
I'm
saucy.
going to go out of
And
order.
okay, so that's like a side for a sandwich.
It's a side.
That sounds like a
I'm
whole
gonna go
thing
out of
its
order.
own.
It is a whole thing.
Since I consider this would be something I would have after a big, I'm going to go with that one last. I'm going to go out of order and go with, what was the first one of these that we had?
We did
Yeah.
the dark one first.
The dark one
That's
first.
the
fighting
gritty
one.
one.
That's the fighting, Dino.
That's the fighting whiskey.
Is that the one that tastes like Midnight Run, or is that a different one?
I think actually
This is the one. I call this one the Quiet Man whiskey.
The world's
movie,
walk-
The Quiet Man. See, that's
John
that's
Wayne.
that's my
hands up like
my fantasy of Ireland.
so.
That is.
we
I,
all walk around like this.
yeah,
just-
yeah.
I watch The Quiet Man every St.
Yeah.
Patty's Day night.
the most boring movie
Shut
in the history
your
of
ass,
time.
Shut your stupid
Oh,
face.
There we go.
Shut
well,
your stupid face.
John
Oh my God.
Ford has a big fancy camera.
John
in-
Ford
in
won the Academy
Technicolor.
Award for Best Director for The
Blah,
Quiet
blah,
Man. It's
blah.
Quiet Man is a great. You know what? You're young.
Quiet Place. Now there's a movie. John Krasinski.
Shut up.
my
Just
God.
shut your stupid movie face.
I'm calling up.
Hey, White Man's my
Come on,
wife's
Hope
favorite
Man.
movie, by the way.
You
you
call
know.
Hope Man. She's gonna be on the podcast with George.
Yeah,
Hancock
Hope will
next
back. She'll
week.
back me up.
No, she won't. She won't back you up.
I love The Quiet Man.
Thank you,
Great
Chip.
movie. You're welcome. My wife and I watch it every year.
That is is that a false? Is that a false impression of what I think Ireland should be?
It's a romantic vision.
Come on, Mark.
You're
Don't
allowed
destroy
it.
it.
You're
And granted, it was made in the 50s. I get that. But that quaint little village and just the people.
The
and,
bar.
And
I think was that village that created out in the field, and then it came to the end of the film, and then the film crew offered it to the closest village, and they said no, we don't want it. It's like it's a whole. I think that's a whole set that's created out in the field.
But it's real. It is realistic.
It is.
Ish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
What I remember.
I think it's lovely. I think that.
will you take me to that Ireland at some point?
You wanna
Donegal.
go-
Yes,
Will you
Dino.
take me to
Donegal is that way.
a small little village like that?
Yeah, they're there all over.
They're there all over.
Yeah.
They have to
Right.
be. They
I'd
have to
rather
be.
go to the town that was in the film that was up for Best Picture a couple years ago.
The Banshees of
yeah.
Inisherin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Colin
Banshees
Farrell.
of-
Colin
Banshees
Farrell.
Banshees of
What
Inisherin
a
was great.
film.
What a great
That
movie.
film.
That
awesome.
that
Is it,
and I like that you put two
Inisherin?
you make film
Film.
two syllable words.
In a
Film.
Sharon,
It's
is
gotta
that what
use
they-
The Banshees
is
of
that what they call it,
Inisherin.
Inisherin?
Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, that was a great
Excellent
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Colin
it's
Because
Farrell.
it takes place 100 years ago, exactly to the day on the calendar that he looks at. And you know what? Everything changes technology except man. Man himself does not
What
change.
is this accent
Oh, well,
you got going,
that's-
Chip?
Do I have an accent now? I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I just love your accent so much.
And
I'm
the eye
absorbing
contact
it.
is.
You're working on your own type of thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna put some of this water on ice.
It's like one of the side benefits of this whiskey is you start talking with an Irish accent.
Is that on the tasting
so funny.
profile?
It's so funny. Chip, you are so easily manipulated.
Oh, you are awesome. Thank
Oh
you.
my God! All right, this is my fighting whiskey.
Okay, yeah. This
Right,
is your,
right. This is my fighting whiskey.
This is your raisin bran
This is
fighting
my
whiskey.
dark horse Canepa pick.
Which that one right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, which one was that? I don't know what he's
This
pointing
is
at.
the tawny port. The first fill.
fill tawny.
First
First
fill
fill?
tawny.
I think
First
the
fill
second
tawny
fill
port.
is the Canepa short horse.
God damn it! That makes
Yeah.
me want to be pissed off at one of you motherfuckers.
There is whiskeys. You're walking down the street and you're
definitely
like, I
burnt
wish
your
somebody
tongue.
would chance it on me.
All right, let me go.
I
With
wanna
the,
get
let me
in a
go
fight.
with the flowery one.
There we go.
Not gonna use the good bottle. Where's the empty one?
Yeah, you got to crush right over the top. Oops.
Yeah, this is the one I'm still on this one with you.
Oh, that one you like? Okay, all right.
I like
see.
'em all.
You'll have another one if it's one.
He's
that
got
you
a
really
driver.
like. Okay.
No, I like them all.
driving.
That's what I said. He's got a driver.
Oh, I thought you said he's. Gonna
She's
drive.
much more than a driver. She's also a cook.
Yeah. And a woman.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm
She
cutting
just,
that
she
out
just
of the podcast.
flipped you off.
I don't even
She
know what
just
that was.
appropriately flipped you off immediately. I might add.
Rightfully so. That was a goof. Edit that one out, John.
You know what? I'll say this. The only reason there's a good John Whitney is because there's a better Jen
Oh my
Whitney.
God! What do they say? Behind every man, there's a better woman.
Absolutely.
Here.
I love her. She's the one who Halloweens him up.
That's right.
Again,
true.
I go back to it's like that's the fighting whiskey, and this is the after fighting whiskey.
Yeah. Are you celebrating winning the fight, or
No,
are
no,
you commiserating your
Oh, it doesn't
loss?
matter. I totally expect to have a fight in Ireland and lose it magnificently. I expect to get my ass
You
kicked.
gotta
Yeah.
even it out now
Oh,
with more
yeah.
of that.
Without a
Hey,
doubt.
Martin, that brings me to a question I have for you. Like, when we get into a fight, will it be a fist fight, or will somebody pull a knife or a gun?
No, it's gonna be a fist fight, Chip.
Well, I'm hoping that no one will actually get that serious and try to kill us. They just
No,
want to fist and gun.
Hey, no, you
Why am I
gotta
talking
make it
this
just,
Have you never seen a Notre Dame fighting Irishman?
Yeah,
just
You gotta fight like
That's
this.
right.
Because I'm there. I'm
This-
there with you. It's defending you, right with
fists and a cracked rib before it's all said
You
and
got to
done.
bounce around in a circle around each other.
Yeah. It's like the ballet. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Martin, what's
actually,
the second one?
and actually, I mean, part of our marketing plan and our long-range marketing plan is, well, I want to set
That
up.
is really nice.
I'm going
That
to set
really
up a
is.
time where,
one.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
Kelly is at the
no,
OSU now.
no. We're going to get Martin's going to get
Anita.
punched. We're going to have this thing where Martin gets punched by Colin.
If we put this out here, you
Colin
see the thing is,
McGregor?
If we put
Colin
this out
McGregor.
here,
Put it out. Put it out.
It's out there.
You
If we
McGregor.
put this out there, it's out there.
This is
All
how
right, it's going
this is
out
how
there.
Boo's going to become successful. Is we're going to have
You
Martin,
said Colleen McGregor, right?
This is if we put this is going out in like a
Right.
worldwide set.
No,
now.
I'll fight him.
All right, let's do it.
I'll fight him.
Let's do
What,
it.
did you
Let's
say?
do it.
Did you say that Martin could beat Colin?
No way!
That's what you're saying?
No,
Because that's what'll
that's not what we're going for.
He can take him.
No,
No, he
No,
can. He was
no.
a PE
I tell you what,
teacher.
if
He
I
was
have-
a PE teacher for Christ's
If
sake.
I have my fight in Ireland, I don't want it with him.
no.
He scares
Bono.
me just when
we
he
We can take
speaks.
Bono.
We
Let's
need
go,
a big fight
Bono.
between me and Conor McGregor.
Conor
Oh,
McGregor.
Colin.
He's the bad guy in the new Roadhouse movie.
Oh,
Is
that's
he
right,
really?
isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one that Jake Gyllenhaal has to kick his ass.
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal's the new
Yeah,
good guy.
Yeah,
He's
it's
the
about
new-
time they remade that
Yeah.
movie.
No, I'll. Yeah.
They were gonna do it with Ronda Rousey with females.
They
That's
did.
right, then she
They
lost,
did.
so.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
I could just hear it now. Kennedy would be like, "It's time."
Mister.
I've got an ice
And
cube.
now-
I'm waiting
and
for
now
him to
the-
tell me the winner, and then I'm gonna
And now
have
the
a
dessert
splash
one.
of it.
And then we get to pick decide what the Canepa pick was.
I saw you two at the Sphere.
Did you really?
Mind blowing.
Oh, I
It
am.
was.
I'm
yeah.
absolutely.
Is this the
My-
one you want more of?
Not unless they declare it the winner.
Oh, you want the winner?
Yeah.
Before it's all said
I've
and
heard
done.
mixed
I've
about
got,
the YouTube show.
My wife is
Really?
fascinated
You
with
don't
the
play any
Sphere,
songs,
and we have
but
to go.
people-
Yeah,
know
you
the
two.
words to
You two was the
I
afterthought.
bet there's a lot of
The Sphere
preaching.
was-
There's a lot of Bono preaching.
We were in Vegas when they were like practicing the Sphere and like just lighting it up to see if it worked and everything. And one of my buddies' rooms was like right by it, and he's like, all of a sudden there's like all this light that came pouring through my window. when
Was
it
it
goes-
outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was an inside scene.
Did you guys get
both.
the,
No,
Inside
he-
and
but
outside.
they lit it up and
It's-
it
it's
literally
so
came,
big.
It's just so bright
It's so
and-
bright,
Do
yeah.
you get the emoji eyeball and the little bird that looks around at people?
I can't remember I was there for the. What was I there for? Oh, the World Series
World
of
Series
Poker.
of Poker,
yeah.
You were playing in it.
I was playing
This
the
boy
World
right
Series
here.
of Poker.
He was in it.
You made it day
They
two,
got
right?
yeah.
No, I
They
did
got
not make it to day
1,000,
two.
1,295th place.
I did not make it to day two. Let's not talk about that. That's a sad day in my life. Anyway,
Drink more
You know,
than
there's-
fighting whiskey.
There's I go to Las Vegas, New Mexico every year. The original Las Vegas.
How are the flights
No,
there?
go on. What do you mean?
And there, actually, I go out every year. I go out to New Mexico and I pick up green chili because Byrne's Pub uses a lot of
Yes, they
green
do.
chili
Yes, they do.
and on our menu. And
Yeah.
so I go out to New Mexico and I get 1,000+ pounds of green chili. But I stay in Las Vegas, New Mexico, which is one of the greatest cities
Never been.
in all of New Mexico.
All right, so I'll go to Ireland with you and Las Vegas, New Mexico with you.
Right.
I was born in New Mexico,
Were you really?
Portales, New Mexico.
you were.
Portales. Been there.
The peanut capital of the world.
And how ironic that your son has a
And
peanut
my
allergy.
yeah, that's why he hates me.
All right, this is my
All right.
last one. This is what I
Because
consider to be
whiskey
the
makes us
dessert
digress.
bottle out of all the.
I'll join you with that.
Again, I haven't drank any of this on ice.
Let me just say, as we come to a close here this evening, this has been a magnificent podcast, and so good to have you both back on it. And congratulations on where BUA started and where BUA is and where BUA will go. Bravo,
Cheers,
gentlemen.
absolutely.
Bravo.
And then
bravo,
for the people
bravo.
at home, when and where can we try this?
Well, it's going to be landing in liquor stores
In only Ohio.
and throughout Ohio. Within the next week, it's going to be very. I mean, these the new brands, the new exclusive ones, are going to be very, very limited. You can go out to ohlq.com.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to find what liquor stores have them. You can search them out on your liquor stores because most of these are 200 liters of that we've brought over. So they're very exclusive. They're barrel picks. There's
big.
not very many
There's
of
not
them.
a lot of them.
So you may have to very very much source them out. There's some.
You gotta fight for 'em.
There are events.
Fight for them. You gotta fight for them.
March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We've got there are retail events at liquor stores in Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Columbus. So you can go out to those events. You can purchase at those events. You can taste at those events. And so just look at ohlq.com and you'll find the information you need there.
Yeah, beautiful. Because and you won't be disappointed, and you will walk away with one, if not all, before it's all said and done.
March 1st, so we have it here actually. So it's March 1st.
First Cincinnati.
March 1st, Cincinnati, 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
It's March 2nd, Cleveland.
Cleveland, and then March
From
3rd.
12 o'clock. They picked that time of day in Cleveland. They're just like that.
Yeah, they like
Pick
the
that type of day for high proof whiskey. And then March 3rd in Columbus at 12 o'clock.
Ding,
12
ding,
o'clock.
ding, ding,
Chateau.
12. That's a good time because I could drink and not worry about that.
And there's
There
no
you go,
football
there you
on,
go.
on a
Yeah,
Sunday.
we got nothing going on.
Oh no, there's going to be a fight though.
Let's get a fight going.
Might be a fight. All right, so now it's time. Now it's time. Hey, Jim Canepa, if you don't come back on this podcast to talk about pot soon, this last part of the podcast is what we think Canepa's pick is.
One of our podcasts back in the archives, we watched with Max Grow,
And we watch Reefer Madness.
Yeah.
Reefer Madness, and he was sitting there just like blowing it up. And we were watching Reefer Madness goofing around. It was fun. It was during the COVID.
During
pandemic.
the COVID, we had to stretch during the COVID.
Yeah. So that you could watch on the bottom screen, the movie, and then all of us just like goofing
Commenting
around
as we
and
went
drinking
along.
and-
Yeah. All right. So,
Anyway,
all right, Hansberry,
okay,
what's
there
your
we go.
pick for Canepa?
The this one,
The butterscotch.
The White Muscatel.
Thank
White
you.
Muscatel.
White Muscatel.
Whitney.
Mine was the first one of the malt, single malt.
Fightin malt.
Yeah,
Fightin tawny.
Yeah.
The Fightin' Tonic. Chip.
Mine was the second of the
Tawny Ports.
Tawny Port. That's right.
The
That's
classic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mellowed.
We all have a different pick.
Yeah. What about
We
you,
all-
Dino?
Mine is the one that was closest to bourbon for Canepa.
The
Sweet.
single grain.
Yeah, 'cause he is a bourbon guy after all.
We tell you which one of these right?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going with this.
The water. Bottle of water. His bottle of water.
The water.
Limestone water.
And I will applaud whoever is the winner because I don't think I am.
It's Mr. Hansberry over here in the corner.
Hansberry, really?
Which one did he pick?
He picked the butterscotch.
okay,
White
Of course.
Muscatel.
Pick the White Muscatel finished single
funky.
malts.
It was so funky.
Yeah.
I knew that
Yeah.
it had to raise somebody's eyebrows.
See, I
Because
picked,
even if you don't like it, it's It's polarizing.
You know, it's great. It's great, and
It's unique.
Exactly.
Yep,
Good for you,
that's right.
Thank you.
first of all, for nailing it. And I'm a little disappointed in you, Jim. I thought maybe with all the bourbons that you've tasted that you would find this one right here to be something kind of amazing.
You want
Because
to pick Dino's pick.
I do want him on the podcast.
Now,
but
to
I
be
don't mind
honest,
calling
though,
him out.
if I chose one I want to drink, it would probably be this one. Then.
But what we will
Right.
say is this has been the crowd pleaser.
This has been the crowd
Yeah.
pleaser.
Crowd pleaser
yeah.
at the couple of events that we've had.
Because it's that bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's that bridge between bourbon and Irish whiskey. Irish whiskey. Okay.
Iron
I'm
Islands.
glad I live here. I don't have to drive anywhere.
That's sitting on your deck smoking a cigar.
Yeah, it is.
Whiskey.
Sitting on your where?
Deck.
Did you say dick or deck? On where you've come from and where you are and where you're going. I said that earlier, but I'll say it again. Nicely done. This has been great. This has been beautiful. And also, what a wonderful time to share with a couple of great friends. This has been great. This is what whiskey business is all about. You know, every once in a while we get kind of whiskey centric like tonight, but I've often said that whiskey business is all about a good pour and good conversations, and we've had nothing but that this evening. So bravo,
All
well
right.
done.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, Dino. Thanks for having us, lad.
Cheers.
Martin, so good to see you. And I'm totally serious about if I take a trip to Ireland, I would like it to be with you. I might die in Ireland. Is there a place where I could be buried there?
The Italian club.
Talon Club in court.
We'll do it, Dino. Lad, if you're even thinking about it, let me know. If you're even thinking about it, seriously,
How many times
let me
you
know.
go over the course of the year?
Every 2-3 months.
Every 2-3
Yeah.
months. So that's
And are you in
something
Ohio
we could
the rest
actually
of the
plan.
time?
Yeah.
That's something we could actually plan.
Yeah. No, for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, Jesus, that.
Is there any business I could do over there so I could write it off?
whiskey business.
We'll figure it
Whiskey
out.
business.
And I'll tell you that we went over in December, and it was there was an Irish musician that I've always loved, and Christy Moore, and he never leaves the island, and so I went online. I saw he was touring. He's almost 80.
Oh my gosh.
And I says, I've got to go see Christy Moore. It's happy hour. I've had a couple of BUAs. I got 6 tickets. I guess we're going to Ireland in December.
6
And
tickets.
that's how it was. And
That's how it worked.
Why not?
To do it that way.
What's his name?
Christy Moore.
You
He's
thought it was a woman, didn't you?
No, I was gonna say
You
he's
did.
A, he's
You
a,
did. You
he's
thought
a-
it was a woman. You
did.
thought it was a woman.
yeah, I'm out if it's a guy.
All right, Hansberry, any last minute words you want to put out there as far as business?
A couple words I would like to put out is Jack and Danny's and Start.
We created 2 new. She's a start.
She's a start,
And
all right.
Jack and Danny's.
let me shift a moment to
When I'm sitting on my
to
Jack
make-
and
to-
Danny's.
I'm sitting on my Jack and Danny's. All right. We may have created something this evening. We don't know.
Take it back to Ireland to be like, this is all the rage in Ohio.
Throw out a couple of business things before we close it out.
Whiskey Business is the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with BUA whiskey. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for subscribing on your favorite podcast. If whatever profile or platform you're on, you can rate and review it. Just please take a second and do it because that's how other people find us. Also, share it with your friends. St. Patrick's Day, really, I mean, it is really coming around, and this is such a cool thing to be in Central Ohio, but also anywhere. Whiskey Business is on YouTube. Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis.
Oh, yeah, it is. You're right.
He does the unedited version. So right now we're almost at 2 hours.
We're almost at 2 hours. But
Yeah.
you know what? probably two of the best hours this year of
Yep.
whiskey
It'll
business.
go by
The
fast.
As far as I'm
podcast I put
concerned.
out is going to be about 20 minutes.
Edited version.
Don't you drop a thing!
It takes me about 5
just gonna be
hours
you
to edit
talking
a
about
2-hour
fighting.
podcast.
No. This
Hit
one-
that subscribe button.
I knew this one. I knew this one would go long. I knew this would go long, but that's okay because it was filled with so much joy.
You can
Hit the
just
bell
cut
button.
Kind of
this
feels like a
mic.
half hour, honestly.
Hit the bell button. Ding, 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 ding. Because John and Chip are putting out YouTube shorts, and you see those.
Yeah. And comment.
We
like
got to
and
do
comment.
more.
And comments as
It
well.
helps with the analytics.
Yeah.
Commenting and
Yeah,
sharing.
and John, we got to put out a
writing
lot
down
of
the
shorts on
comments
this
so I can,
one.
actually respond to people that might
Evergreen
be something
Podcast
about it.
Network, thank you.
Thank you, Evergreen.
And that's about it. WhiskeyBusinessPodcast.com.
That's right.
Pat Burns, thank you so much. Looking forward to St. Patty's Day at Burns.
It should be a fun time.
Should be a good one.
We're looking forward to a
You
big
got
one. so-
every year. You knock it out of the park.
I'm going to that
Congratulations,
bar.
Martin,
Thanks. Listen,
how
thanks a
long are you in
million.
town for? When do you go back?
Until Paddy's Day, probably until a little bit after Paddy's Day.
And
So I
you're
got a
stay
good
for
month.
the-
You're going to be
not
here
gonna
for
stay
St.
for
Patty's
the
Day?
eclipse.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
He's
sir.
not
going
gonna
to hang
stay
out
for
with
the
his mom
eclipse.
and aunt.
Yeah, because they don't celebrate it like
You
we
should
do.
stay for the eclipse.
When's the eclipse?
April 8th.
April 8th.
Okay.
Oh
maybe,
my God.
Maybe.
Oh my God! Why wouldn't you
Don't
stay for the
tell the
eclipse?
Visa border control agents.
I got a guy. I got a guy.
They're getting testy with me lately.
I got a guy.
They don't like it coming and
No,
going.
they're getting testy. Yeah, no. Thanks a million for having us on, guys.
No, man.
Any opportunity to talk shite about whiskey?
Let's just hang, just to hang.
Yeah, no,
before,
absolutely.
Before you
I'm
go
excited
back
to see
out.
what happens tomorrow morning.
Let's not.
You have to go home tonight, though.
Because the
Mark.
next
You
5
have
hours
to
are
go
going to be
home.
really interesting.
Have you no home to go to?
Dino has a job tomorrow.
I have a place to go tomorrow.
He must be there early.
All right.
We all have jobs.
Let me wrap it up officially. My thanks to my boys, Greg Hansberry on the audio side, John Whitney on the video side, Chip Cosell on all the sides, because he is all-purpose in so many ways. He takes the pictures. He chimes in. You do a lot, Chip. Thank you so much, and I'm so glad you're part of Whiskey Business. And our guests, Pat Byrne, Burns Pub, Martin Kennedy, BUA Whiskey. Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I have nothing
Cheers,
left
lads.
in there.
What a lovely evening.
Was it? Wasn't it though?
Cheers.
Wasn't it though? Until the next bottle, or in this case, bottles. See ya.